Hello people, guess what? We're at number 100. I can barely believe it, but today is the 100th video in my 100 days of homesteading challenge that I set myself a little while ago, 100 days ago to be exact. So I thought today would be a pertinent time to just have a bit of a deep dive into why our family has decided to live this life. Now, of course, there are probably dozens of reasons why different people choose to live a homesteading life. I use that term with what has become a common understanding, I think, of the word, that it means people who are choosing to live a more intentional, simple life and more closely connected to their food. So there are really a lot of reasons why people might choose to do this. And so all I'm doing today is sharing our reasons for our family and why we have chosen to homestead. So what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit of a story and explain to you how we ended up here. When I was a child, the mountainsides of our family farm were my safe place. Like a dove shelters her young under her wings, so the valley walls seemed to wrap around me in protection and security. The creek bed where I played with my brothers, with the cockatoo and Willy Wagtail as our friends, that was my safe harbour. The branches of the currajong trees that held me up with my face to the clouds and the cool breeze in my hair, that is where I felt safe and free. Near to God, it seemed, with his handiwork close to my skin. Then we lost the family farm. We moved away. I grew up. 2 decades later, now married with 6 children, I felt again the comfort of creation like a warm blanket over my soul. We moved for a short but glorious 8 months to a 37-acre rental property in the fertile hills of the Mary Valley in southeast Queensland. When we moved into the little run-down farmhouse with the slate floors and holes in the inside walls, I looked out over the green rolling hillside and saw not a neighbour in sight. Suddenly, an overwhelming sense of relief washed over me. Quiet joy crept up into the corners of my soul, and I sighed deeply. It was the first time I had felt really safe in a very long time. Perhaps it is strange and unique to me that being close to creation seems to put my body at ease. Possibly it is because of my early years where my parents taught me to love and respect the land we lived on, but I suspect it is more than that. I think it speaks to a deeper connection that we all have when we allow ourselves to discover it, a restoring of the natural order of things. Lately, as I have been contemplating why we choose to homestead, it has occurred to me that it runs a lot deeper than just the food. For me, the homestead really does feel like home. It feels rooted, grounded, and safe. I lived, I guess, for a large portion of my life with a lot of fear, stemming, I think, from deep trauma in my early childhood, exacerbated by a different kind of trauma in my early adulthood. We all have these broken places in our lives, but sometimes I don't think we realize the impact it has on our day-to-day living. Coming to the homestead has brought healing in a way I never expected. It has been a soothing balm to my overwrought nervous system, and I didn't even know I needed it. Initially, we were drawn to the homesteading life and the idea of growing our own food for health reasons, wanting to remove toxins from our home and searching for nutrient density in our diet to provide healing for our bodies, trying to find solutions for itchy skin and sore tummies in our children. Then the more we looked and the more we learnt, the more we wanted to step back and disengage from the industrial systems of the modern world. We wanted freedom to make our own choices. At first, you may say, well, what is so wrong with the industrial machine? What is wrong with the modern way of living? Doesn't this all make life easier and faster? In some ways, yes, it does. The problem is we have lost our inheritance in the process. The wisdom and knowledge which was once common to mankind of how the world works, how creation functions, the natural order of things has been lost, or at the very least distorted. The laws of nature, which were once understood by all, are now foreign and strange. We lost them when we chose comfort and ease over respect, hard work, and good stewardship. We thought we could take a shortcut. We thought we could railroad our way through the way things were made to be, not realizing that in the process we would become insipid and wind up adrift on a sea of ambition without an anchor to hold us steady. In our hearts, we have been homesteading since that short stint in the Mary Valley. We have longed for open skies and rich soil to grow our children and our food. Why? Well, because we wanted to take back our autonomy, our health, and our heritage. First, let's look at autonomy. The number one reason for both my husband and I to want to homestead is to regain our independence from the systems of modernity, to have a bit of control over our choices of food, health, and family culture. We wanted to disentangle ourselves from reliance on and servitude to the systems that today are assumed to be the only way. Systems of food, education, health, and even work. And what about how we care for our elderly? What if there was another way to do that? A way to live and thrive together as a family. The second reason was health. Unfortunately, in today's world, eating healthy can be very expensive. There is no doubt in my mind that our health is greatly impacted by what we eat. We are what we eat, as the saying goes. But we found that year after year, as our family was growing, eating really good, nutrient-dense, organic food was getting harder and harder, and further from our financial reach. In the end, we knew the only way to really know we were providing good food for our family was to grow it ourselves. The third reason is our heritage. It is a sad truth that the average person in 2025 has no notion of the life skills and knowledge that are their birthright as human beings. The ability to grow, harvest, prepare and cook one's own food, manage and care for the land and its water sources, caretake the wildlife and specific animal husbandry skills, the ability to build, mend and problem solve, requirements for shelter both for humans and animals, all of this has been lost in just a couple of generations. There was a day in our not so distant past when these skills were an assumed reality for everyone. It has been our goal to regain these traditional skills and be able to pass them on to our children. An integral part of this heritage is restoring the practice of being creative. I believe we were made in the image of the Creator. It is in our being, part of who we are. We were designed to create. When we deny that part of ourselves and spend our days in blind consumption without stimulating that part of ourselves that was made for creating, we're only really half alive. So whether it is in the garden, in the workshop, in the kitchen, or perhaps some entirely different creative endeavor, we want to give our children the gift of learning to create.
Do they smell?
So, when my husband and I, with our 7 children, landed on American soil to make our new home here 2 years ago, we knew we wanted to live out in the country. We wanted land with natural woodlands, perhaps a creek, open pastures, a place for the children to run and to be free, a place to have the grandparents close by and help them grow old with the grandchildren always nearby. A place for our family to build and hope and dream and heal. That is why we homestead. It isn't exactly a short answer. Life is precious and short and, yes, full of both joy and pain. To me, this simple, busy, hard, beautiful life is the most humane way I can think of to spend my days. Matilda! Matilda! Come on! Come on! Hey girl! Hey baby! Good morning. Hey, how's my girl? How's my girl? Little special snack for you. Hey, baby. So if you had to pick one thing that's your favorite thing about living here on this property and homesteading, what would it be?
It would probably be the milk. I just love having homegrown milk. It tastes so much better than the store-bought stuff.
So Ty, what's your favorite thing about living here on this property and living on a homestead?
It's probably that I get to do stuff on a homestead that I never get to do if I wasn't on a homestead, like growing our own food, getting to do chickens. Yeah, and I like homeschooling. So making bases down in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun.
Gracie, what's your favorite thing about living here?
My favorite thing is we get to watch baby animals grow up,
Mm-hmm.
and we get to make bases.
It's a gentle little wing. Gentle, gentle.
They don't have their feathers yet. When they're young, they have 4, and then when they get older, they have the
Feathers.
because the nature.
What is it?
The nature.
When you say nature, what do you mean?
I mean, like the trees in the creek, and like the animals.
The trees in the creek?
Yeah, and the animals.
Yeah. What's your favorite animal on the homestead?
Wolves.
Wolves? We don't have wolves. Do you mean the coyotes?
Yeah.
Oh, do you like to hear them?
Yeah, and like one time we were down there, I bet you there's more coyote footprints, but there was like thousands of coyotes footprints.
Of the footprints.
Yes, a lot.
Do you like playing at the creek? You said the creek. What do you like about the creek?
There used to be a swing over it, but Titus did it and fell, and guess what happened?
What?
Titus fell in the creek.
He fell in the creek. We'll have to set up another swing, won't we?
Oh, it was a vine.
It was a vine?
It was a vine. But yeah, we can set up swing, but it was the thing weighs Mine was a vine. Oh my goodness! Wait, no, look how thick this ice is. Oh. The vine's holding onto the ice. Yeah, get your knife and cut it. Haha. Look how thick it is. I want to jump. Mommy, can I jump? There's a risk of me falling in the water, but can I?
Yeah, as long as you do your best not to. Hit the root, jump over to the root.
Mama, look how thick this one is.
Right here.
It has roots all through.
Ready?
This is super thick, Mom.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can jump by myself. Yeah,
Mom, look.
Don't lose your bow and arrow, little dude.
here. Come here.
Right, he's got it.
Look at this one. This one
Oh,
is super thick, and it was like,
hey, look at me, let's see that. It's got a root growing through it. Hold it still.
Let's go.
Oh, wow.
That's really nice.
How neat is that? And a leaf? Has it got a leaf stuck in it?
Hey, Bryce, don't jump. Mama.
Image. What is your favourite thing about living on a homestead or living on property?
My favorite thing about living on property, like 14 acres, a lot of property.
Well, it's not very much, I know, but it's bigger than a town block.
I like being able to like have acres so I can do what I want, you know, like ride dirt bikes down the back or tear it up with a four-wheeler, something like that. But like we don't even have property. So like I guess making trails and stuff and riding, yeah, I like doing that.
I would say my favorite thing about living on this property would be Nini and Papa are living right next door. Like on the same premises, so we can just like walk over there.
Yeah.
It's just really close, intimate. I like that.
Yeah. Why do you like that?
Just makes it easy. Makes it easy to take care of him and just like see him whenever we want and stay the night there, whenever I feel like it.
You know, I talked about the desire, the want to become a little bit more independent of the systems of the world. And that is not to say that all those systems are bad. Some of them are great. Some of them I'm really grateful for. I am truly grateful that I do not have to wash my clothes and the clothes of my family by hand. That would be a lot. And I know people used to do it. I'm really glad to have a washing machine, and I'm happy to have an electric oven. And you know, there's lots of ways in which we do utilize the modern way of living. So I'm definitely not saying let's just toss it all out and go back 100 years. We were born in this time for a reason, and there's lots of good things about it. But I think if we're not careful, we will lose forever the things that are worth keeping, and there are a lot of things that are worth hanging on to. So that's more my point of maybe just stopping to think a moment about what we have lost and which of those things do we want to regain, which of those things do we want to say, no, actually that's important to me, that's important that we keep that, that's important that my children learn that, that's important that we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We don't say to ourselves, oh, progress is always the best, new and fancy and mechanized and technological is always the best. Let's think through these things and decide for ourselves which ones to keep and which ones to lose. I do think one of the most beautiful things about, I guess, taking ownership and responsibility for our food and I guess these systems that we're living in and deciding what we keep and what we lose is that we now have the beautiful experience of, yes, growing our own food, and yes, like the kids said, it tastes a lot better, and it is a completely different thing to eat real food. But we also have this little house over here with my husband's parents living in it, and this little house over here with us living in it, and there is something just richly beautiful and truly, I think it is the natural order of things that we live multi-generationally. I think I totally understand that that is not always possible. My father ended up in care in his last days. He had Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's, and when it came down to it at the very end, my mum cared for him for a long time, for years, but in the end he was a danger to himself and a danger to my mum, and my brothers and I did all that we could to sort of be there and help. But I do understand, so there is no condemnation in this statement. I understand that it is not always possible, but I do think wherever it is possible, there are rich rewards. There are sacrifices, there are difficulties, but there are rich rewards for those who will walk that path. Okay, so before we go, I do want to just say thank you so much for all your support over the last 100 days. Thank you for your kind comments and encouragement, sort of just helping me to keep going. It's been fun. I have learnt a lot. It has been a very big challenge to myself, and it's stretched me and I've grown, but I'm really glad that I've stuck it out and learnt through the process. So thank you for being here. Now, coming up, I do intend to continue with my YouTube channel, so continue to document our life here as we seek to just grow food and live a simple life, and discover what that's like. And we will continue to learn new skills and try to pass them on to our children. So we will still be here. It will not be every day. I am probably going to take a good solid week break, and then I don't know yet if it'll be once a week or twice a week, but I will continue to post. So I appreciate your support. Okay, well, Zion and I are going to collect the eggs, but we will see you again soon. Not tomorrow, but it will be soon. Thanks for watching, friends. Sunshine and raindrops always. So this week we had a big moment in our house because Zion caught his first ever chicken all by himself. He was super excited when he ran in and told me yesterday, and today he wanted to show me again how he could do it without any help. Oh, you can.
Right when I was
Let's get the eggs first. Grace, you want to go get that? Well, she's pretty easy. Do you want to catch her first? Okay, come here. We'll let her in. Probably if we open the gate. I don't know how she got. You want to catch her? Yes, but we're just getting this little brown hen. She's been left out. Scoot out there.
Ready?
Yep. That's it. Good boy. And she comes. Like catching chickens. Let's see. Oh. Now that is not good.
I know.
Oh.
And all of it out.
Okay.
Very not good.
Get the others carefully.
There's an egg in here. Rotten eggs. Very orange. They're brown eggs. No, there are birds like that doing everywhere and that stuff.
Pull the There you go. These two were super dirty. They were down inside the pen. Just be gentle. Hey, darling. Say bye, YouTube. Bye, YouTube.